Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity, you crazy people. My name is Jay, and today, for those of you who don't know, Star Wars Legion had an announcement by the company who makes it, FFG, at Gen Con, which was basically that the Clone Wars are coming to Star Wars Legion and X-Wing. But I'm talking about Legion right now, so that's what we're talking about. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what we had for the original release, what kind of units, and I'm going to talk and speculate about what we might get at the initial release, maybe Wave 1 and 2, for the Clone Wars. And those factions that we will be getting in this sense will be the Confederacy of Independent Systems, the Separatists, and the Galactic Republic. So obviously, let's have a look at what we got. We'll get a commander, a core unit, we had a support unit, and a heavy vehicle. So I think it's likely that we'll get something like one of each of those. I doubt we'll get a special forces, but we're going to talk about the special forces as well. So let's look at the commanders. Now for me, the ones that I think are most likely will be paired together will be General Grievous and Obi-Wan. That's a very distinct possibility that that could be the initial release. The reason being is, small spoilers here, they have a distinct relationship together. Obi-Wan eventually kills Grievous, I believe, and I just feel like that's a nice little comparison between the two. We could get Count Dooku and Anakin. Again, one of them kills the other, so that makes sense. We could also get Yoda, or any combination of those characters. Basically, I think they're the ones that are most likely to come. Now, speaking about most likely to actually be released, I know a lot of people have like fan favorites and stuff like that, but here I'm looking at the most likely ones, and the most likely ones are honestly the ones that are in the films and that most people know. So just keep that in mind if you are making any suggestions. There's other alternatives, like you could have Wolf Yularen, maybe an Admiral Trench. They're unlikely to be the top tier ones, but they could eventually come. Palpatine could very easily be on each of the factions, which I would find amusing. However, I think they'll just leave him out, and he'll be more for the original trilogy ones when we do get him. Operative wise, you could be looking at Maul, Cad Bane. Galactic Republic side, you could be looking at Ahsoka, Windu, Padme. Back on the Confederacy, you could have Ventress. There's quite a few, but I think those characters are unlikely to be initial releases. I think we'll eventually get them, but they're unlikely to be initial releases. Whereas I think like Obi-Wan and Grievous and Dooku and Anakin are much more like at the forefront of that. And some combination of the two there. For the core units, I think this one's possibly the easiest one to predict. I think we'll get the B1 battle droids, Raja, you know, the classic kind of droids from the films. I can't see anything other than that happening. I think they'll be quite cheap because in the films they just get absolutely murdered by pretty much everybody and everything. But unless they just manage to succeed in numbers. So I'll be sort of intrigued how they do that. And for the Galactic Republic, I think the Clone Troopers. Wow, what a revelation there. I think that's obvious. I think they're the most nailed on certain units probably in this entire list. And I'm not even 100% sure what you could do instead of those two. I'm like in the current game right now, we've got two different core units for each faction. I'm not sure what the second core unit would be for these factions. You know, I just absolutely don't know. So do let me know your thoughts on that one. For the support ones, the support and the vehicles, we get a little bit more into, like, there's quite a few different options. And it's weird to try and pick the most like unique of those options, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I think the Droideka, or the damage droids, whatever they're called, battle droid, I'm not sure what they're called, but they're the ones that roll, spin very quickly and then shoot. Maybe sometimes they have shields. I'm remembering shields, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly. They would make, to me, they would definitely fit into the support category possibly, because they could move fastly, which I think you either have like a vehicle like the AT-RT, or you have like fast units like the speeder bikes. I feel like they would fit nicely there. We'll have to wait and see if I'm correct. Again, for the support ones, I'm not 100% sure what you might get. I don't know. Not being a huge Star Wars fan, I'm not 100% sure what is actually the most appropriate thing that we're going to get there. That's just my personal prediction. I think maybe something like speeder bikes for the Galactic Republic. Just aesthetically, maybe a different kind of looking speeder bike or something like that. just because it looks good and plays well for the Imperials at the moment. I just feel like it's a nice little unit, brings back, but it sort of shows the similarities a little bit, but also will have the differences with the leaders and stuff like that. So as I said, there's a few different options there, but I'm sort of just predicting speeder bikes for the Republic, the Droideka for the Separatists. Then let's have a look at the vehicles. Now I will try and put pictures on the screen of, not while I'm doing this because I'm talking at the moment, of these, just so for illustration purposes, because if you're like me, the names of them might not immediately mean anything to you. So for the Sis, the Separatists, we could be looking at the Armoured Assault Tank. I think that is the classic one that the droids have behind them. I really like the aesthetic of that one, and I will very, very, very much be playing the Separatist faction if this is the case. They are just my favourites. I think for the Republic side of things, I think we'll get the, I'm not 100% sure if it's got a shorter name, but its official name is the TX-130 Sabre class fighter tank. You'll probably recognise it. Or you could also have, for the vehicle side of things for the Republic, you could be looking at the ATTE, which it sort of reminds me of like a dog. But I remember there's an episode in the TV show, I think, where they use it to go, actually they go from one ship to another. I don't know, they go walking on a spaceship, and it's sort of mind-blowing, and they're like, you're a genius. Yeah, that's the thing that has happened. So that's it for the initial comparison to what we got at the initial release of Star Wars Legion. That fits nicely into those unit types. I think we also might get either initially or maybe Wave 2 a Special Forces one. And for the Special Forces for the Separatists, I think we might be looking at the, I'm going to call them the Steroid Droid, the Roid Droid. What a genius name. I'm a genius. Okay, that's maybe not true. But the B2 Battle Droid, basically, they're the one that looks like a big, just the big tanky buff one. That, you know, that's like the, I was gonna say assault, but they're the heavier ones. It sort of remind me of Cylons, but I'm not 100% sure how close they actually look like each other. Yeah, I think they fit nicely into that. And for the Special Forces for the Republic, a lot of people talk about these. I think it just makes perfect sense at this point. The ARC troopers, basically the Advanced Recon Commandos. I mean, a lot of people love them. I've seen a lot of people speculate about them anyway. They're just odds on. And I think if we look at the entire list about what actually likely to happen, my own personal prediction right now, going out on a limb trying to predict something that, to be fair, is probably coming at the end of next year, but we'll get there in a second. We're looking at, I'm thinking Obi-Wan and Grievous. That's my prediction, but we'll see. It might get a bit droid heavy, so they might actually go Dooku and Anakin, or even Dooku and Obi-Wan, but whatever. I'm going Grievous and Obi-Wan, right? And they better do it. They better listen to me and do it. Then I think the battle droids and the clone troopers, that makes sense. I'm going with the droideka and the speeder bikes. Not 100% sure there. And then I think we'll get the armoured assault tank and the Sabre class fighter tank. Then I think Wave 2 will probably get the other commander that we didn't get, maybe with the special troopers, so we'll get the B2 droid and the ARC troopers. That's my prediction. That's what I think. Let me know your predictions. As I said, these are the most likely ones. So if you're picking somebody who very few people know, the odds are it's not going to come at initial wave 1 or 2. But there's definitely scope for speculation, I think, with the support and the vehicles. I think, you know, this could be quite a wide variety of things that they could go with there. But maybe I'm completely wrong. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm strong? I'm not strong. I'm actually quite weak. I'm like one of the weakest men that I know, physically, not emotionally. Yes, that's it pretty much. That's what I think. We're probably looking, I think, the tail end of next year. We're looking at Q4 next year for release. I'm pretty convinced about that. I don't think we're going to get it anytime sooner than that, but I could be, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's summer, but I personally think like they may sell it at Gen Con. Maybe. Who knows? I hope not, in a sense that I hope I get it at the same time as everybody else, but that's just my take on the matter. Yeah, so I'm predicting early, but a lot of people have people had asked me what do I think is going to come, and I was intrigued, so I made it myself. I was interested. I would like to say a big thank you to anybody who supports me on Patreon. I honestly really appreciate that. I've only just started saying it. I'm trying to remember to say it at the end of every video, but I actually truly mean it as well. If you are interested in possibly supporting me on Patreon, there is a link in the description below, and it'll also be on the screen at the end. You should though, if you didn't maybe like the video, if you liked it. If you don't like the video, I actually don't mind people disliking my videos. I've seen people in the comments be like, who've disliked this video? I'm like, it's fine, you can dislike. That's the nature. I would prefer that you actually just tell me why you disliked it, but if you want to dislike. If you also want more content from me, then subscribing and hitting the little bell icon, because that's what everybody says is perfectly reasonable, and I very much appreciate that as well. Have a beautiful day, and goodbye. Bye.